number 2 of the softball Bundesliga doubleheader. Freising Grizzlies visiting the Stuttgart Reds. Stuttgart behind the Hope Bomb, able to win game number 1 6-0. Defensively for the Stuttgart Reds will be pitcher Kirsten Schmidt, catching Leah Petzold at first base, Hope Cornell at second base, Jesse Weil third base, Makea Kalau at shortstop, the Energizer Bunny, Annie Stepniak. Left, center, and right is Isabel Schmidt, Aaliyah Bräuniger, and Terry Pfisterer. Batting lineup for the Freising Grizzlies: Mara Sandner, Teresa Vanna, Leoba Biswas, Fiona and Franca Bosch. That pitch just a little bit low, ball 1. Batting 6, Eleanor Vire, who is the designated player. 7, 8, 9, Sophia Thurmer, Regina Guth, and Laura Kruger. That off-speed pitch in there for strike number 1, 1-1 to count. Stuttgart, of course, Annie Stepniak, pitcher for the first game, threw a one-hitter. No runs allowed. That pitch inside for ball number 2. There's an off-speed pitch, strike number 2, 2-2 the count. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to shout out words of wisdom, put in our chat function. That was a very off-speed pitch, low, full count. We have the chat function open. Don't forget to sign up for Reds TV so Yara can get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season, get his superpowers back. That ball hit in the air, base hit. Starts the game off for the Freising Grizzlies. Oh, already able to equal the amount of hits they had in the last game. Next batter, Teresa Vanna. That pitch high, gets past the catcher, which allows the runner to advance to second base. Inside, ball number 2. As I said, the chat function open. Let me know where you're watching from. I know game 1 we had somebody from Sheffield, England. Somebody from Ruit, which is Florida, Stuttgart. Let me know where you're from. I'll give you a shout out. That pitch high. Ball number 2. So ball number 3. Kirsten Schmidt having trouble finding the strike zone to start off. That pitch on the inside corner, strike number 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that pitch too far outside. A walk puts runners at first and second. And that brings up Leola Biswas. And a little chit-chat between the catcher and the pitcher, and a little chit-chat between the base runners and the hitters. Lots of little chit-chats. Me and Yara having a little chit-chat, only he's afraid to say anything. So all chit chats are done. No outs. Runners at first and second. Infield fly rule is on. Ball hit in the air. In the infield. Easy catch for an infielder. The batter is automatically out. There's a strike on the inside corner. And again, the unconventional signs from the third base coach of the Grizzlies using numbers instead of the normal signs. That's on the outside corner for strike number two. No balls, two strikes. And tried to get her to chase a high fastball. That was a little too high. One ball, two strikes. And there's a fly ball in right field. Falls in front of the right fielder. Throw goes to second, and the run comes home. Oh, already one more hit and one more run than in the first game for the Freising Grizzlies. Brings up Fiona Brush. Of course, Kirsten Smith, the import pitcher for the Stuttgart Reds. That change up in there, strike number one. Not the start that she wanted today. Runners at first and second, still no outs. And that ball hit high, but not too deep. And caught by the Energizer Bunny for out number one. Nice play, Annie Stepniak. A little bit too far to be considered an infield fly. Out number one. That pitch too far outside. Ball number one. That pitch inside. Ball two. And up high, ball three. Three balls, no strikes. A walk, of course, would load the bases. And that's ball number four. Gets past the catcher, but it was a walk. So bases loaded, one out, and the new batter, Nadja Hunstetter. Oh, middle infield, playing deep, going for the double play. Corners inside the first base and third base, wanting to come home on any ground ball. Ball one. There's strike number one, top part of the strike zone. 1-1 to count. that off-speed pitch in the dirt. Runner does not go. 2-1 to count. And another wild pitch. This time the runners advance. Second run for the Freising Grizzlies. Everybody else advances, so now first base is open. Runners on second and third. Still only one out. Three and one to count. And a blooper in the infield. Caught by Jessica Vile. Nice shoestring catch by her for out number 2. 2 outs. New batter, Sophia Thurmer. And it looks like a pinch runner coming in for the Freising Grizzlies, number 46. Tamara Biswas standing at second base. I believe that's her name. Runners at second and third. 2 outs. On the inside corner, strike number 1. That pitch just a little bit low. 1-1 to count. Inside low, ball 2. Swing and a miss. Strike number 2. It's triple deuces. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And for those of you wanting quad, 2 on. And that ball fouled into the first base side fence. A change up that Sophia Thurmer just got a piece of. And another foul ball, this time in front of the third base dugout. Count remains 2-2. Inside, counts full. And another foul ball. Best BG's impression, she's staying alive. And up the middle, base hit. Scores 1 run for Freising. Runner at second holds up at third base. Run number 3 for the Freising Grizzlies in the top of the first inning. And Regina Guth in the batter's box. She had the only hit for the Freising Grizzlies in the first game. Inside ball one. Runner goes and is tagged out on the stolen base attempt. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, nobody left on. Or excuse me, 1 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first inning. Pitching for the Freising Grizzlies is Mara Sandner. Catching, Franka Bosch. At first base, Laura Kruger. Second base, Sophia Thurmer. Third base, Teresa Vanna. At shortstop, Lioba Biswas. Left, center, and right, Regina Guth. Fiona Brush and Eleanor Weyer leading off for the Stuttgart Reds. Annie Stepniak, followed by Jessie Weil, Hope Cornell, Makaya Kalau batting cleanup, Kirsten Schmidt, Aaliyah Pessold, Julie Bräuniger, Isabel Schmidt, Terry Pfister. That pitch high inside for ball number 1. See if Stuttgart can answer the 3 runs that the Freising Grizzlies put on the board. That pitch inside for ball number 2. Low, 3-0 the count. There's strike number 1. Anna Stepniak 2 for 3 with 2 runs and also pitched a complete game. 1 hitter in the first game. And ball hit foul out of play. Count goes from 3-0 to 3-2. Full count. And another foul ball out of play. Umpires in the second game. Behind the plate, Lars Sterling. In the field, Thomas Haller. And that line right at the shortstop. Catch for out number 1. Jesse Weil, the next batter for the Stuttgart Reds, 0 for 3 in the first game with an RBI. She takes pitch number one for ball number one. There, it's ball two. 2-0 the count. Pitcher trying to attack the bottom part of the strike zone to induce ground balls. And that ball up and in, 3-0. And a four-pitch walk puts Jesse Weil on first base. Brings up Hope Cornell, 1 for 2 with a home run, 4 RBIs. Offensively, she beat the Freising Grizzlies in game one all by herself, although we did have a couple more runs. And that ball hard down the third base line, past the third base lady. And all the way around to score on the double is Jesse Weil, showing her speed. Double an RBI. Stuttgart gets one run back. And Makaya Kalau, next batter, stepping into the left side of the batter's box. Switch hitter, 0 for 3 in game one. I'm sure she's wanting to start off with a hit. Showing bunt. And brings it back, takes strike number one. And I guess somebody decided it's too hot out here. And the sprinklers came on. Doesn't look like anybody's running away from the sprinklers. It is kind of warm outside, about 27, 28 degrees. So we currently have a cloudless rain delay. We'll be right back when the sprinklers are off. So it was only a short shower. Rain delay's over. Everybody's back on their bases, back in their positions. Count, no balls, one strike, one out. Hope Cornell standing at second base after the double. 3-1 the score in favor of the Freising Grizzlies. And she slaps that ball. Nice stop by the shortstop, but only a stop. Unable to pick up the ball. Makaya Kalau gets her first hit of the day. Hope Cornell able to advance to third base. Runners on the corners, one out. Kirsten Smith, the batter. Kirsten 0 for 2 in the first game. Time for her to get her first hit of the day. That pitch on the inside corner, strike number one. No balls, one strike. And that ball hit high and deep and off the fence. Hope Cornell able to jog into third. Throw coming home. No chance to get Makea at home. Double from Kirsten Smith off the fence. Brings home Hope Cornell and Makea Kalau and ties the ball game. And that brings up catcher Leah Petzold. Leah was 1 for 3 with a double in game number 1. Stuttgart able to get the 3 runs back. Still only 1 out. Runner at second. Oh, we've already equaled the run total for the last game. Already in the first inning, it's 3-3. A little bit of a powwow over. We have 1 out. Runner at second base and in the batter's box, Aaliyah Petzold had a double in the first game, was 1 for 3. She takes that pitch in there for strike number 1. Oh, Kirsten Smith double, able to help herself get some of the runs she gave up in the first inning back. And that ball fouled over our head, out of play, strike number 2. Again, chat function is open. If you want to get a shout out, just let us know. Let us know. And that ball popped up, and catcher not able to find it. So nothing but a foul ball. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Runner at second. And that ball grounded to the third baseman, able to get the runner out at first. Kirsten Smith has to hold on second. No chance to advance. Out number 2. And up to bat, Julie Brun. I didn't know they could do that. nur sehen, ob das reicht. Oh, one ball, two strikes. That ball golfed down the third baseline. Foul. One ball, two strikes. And that's out by window shopping. Strikeout for out number three. Until you can see the difference between baseball and softball, Yar's going to stick his fingers in front of the camera. So there you can actually see if he gets the right camera because we're not seeing anything. Uh, these technical people. Nope, Yara. There we go. So you can see the difference in the size of a baseball and a softball. The softball much bigger than a baseball, but again, it is definitely not soft. 3 runs on, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom or the top of the second inning. So that inning seemed like it took as long as the first game. Half an hour in, 3-3 the score. We've already had the same amount of runs as in the first game. Only 1 hit less so far in the first than in the first game. Regina Guth, the batter, she takes pitch number one high. Regina, the only hit for the Freising Grizzlies in the last game. She'll be followed by Laura Kruger and Mara Sandner. 3-3 the score. And that ball hit deep and fair on the line all the way to the fence. And a stand-up double for Mrs. Guth. And first base, Laura Kruger, the next batter. Runner at second, no outs. There's strike number one at the top part of the strike zone. That pitch a little bit higher, so it's ball number one, 1-1 to count. Ball number two, 2 balls, 1 strike. Speed pitch in there, swing and a miss. Strike number two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And there's out by window shopping. Oh, yeah. Strikeout for out number one. Brings up leadoff Mara Sandner. Single and scored in the first inning. The Renegina Guth with her double. Still standing at second base. That pitch a little too high, ball one. And just a little bit high, ball two. 2-0 the count. That's on the inside corner. Hot cheese at the knees for strike number two. Inside. 3-1 to count. I can't count. Thank God for the umpire in Jara who slapped me in the back of the head, said it's 3-1, not 2-2. There's strike number two, full count. Again, impressions of the game available at Stuttgart-Reds.de. Here's Drobny, the world's best photographer, running around here, taking photos as she did yesterday at the Bundesliga game. And that ball right back at the pitcher. And no chance to get the runner at first. And of course, now we're going to go check our pitcher, make sure she's okay. She says yes, so an infield single puts runners at first and third with one out and brings up Teresa Vanna. Teresa walked and scored in the first inning. And catcher Petzold, of course, also wanting to make sure her pitcher is okay. Runners at the corners, one out. The runner goes, swing and a miss. And they choose to throw down to second, or excuse, down to third, so the stolen base puts runners at first and second with one out. Strike one on the batter. So Freising in good standing to take the lead again. That pitch in the dirt, nice block by the catcher. Aliyah Petzold keeps the runner at third. And that ball popped up out of play, heads up. If you're ever at the baseball game, like I said earlier, make sure you look up on a foul ball, don't just duck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, yeah! Swing and a miss for out number two. And up to bat, Leoba Biswas. She singled and had an RBI in the first inning. Scored herself later on. And that ball right to Mikea, who throws it nice and easy to Hope Cornell for out number three. No runs on two hits. No errors, two left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second inning. 9, 1, and 2 batting in the bottom of the second inning for the Stuttgart Reds. Teresa Pfister, Annie Stepniak, Jesse Vile. 3-3 the score. Stuttgart able to keep Freising off the board in the top half of the inning. And that ball all the way back made me jump. But remember, Ken, there is a net in front of you. Yara and his stoic self did not move. He's my hero. One ball, no strikes. And that's in there for strike number one. One ball, one strike. Terry came in to pinch run in the first game. Didn't get in that bat. And that foul tip into the glove. The difference between a foul tip and a foul ball. If the ball goes straight into the catcher's glove, it's only considered a strike. And you can strike out on that. Anything that goes and completely changes directions is then a foul ball. And that pitch on the outside corner, out by window shopping, out number one. Brings out the Energizer Bunny. Annie Stepniak up to bat. Hit a hard line drive right at the shortstop, her first at bat. That pitch just a bit inside. Ball number one. And up high, ball two. 2-0 to count. If you're watching a live stream and you want to shout out, just put your name and where you're watching from in the chat function. I'll get you a shout out if you want. There's strike number one, 2-1 to count. Subscribe to Reds TV. Get Yara 1,000 subscriptions by the end of the year. He'll get a true superpower. Besides, of course, his blank stare. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And that pitch just a bit high. Ball number 3. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Fills up the count 3-2. That ball line into right field, but foul by about a meter and a half. And with her speed, that had triple written all over it. Unfortunately, they didn't put the foul lines that far to the right, so nothing but a long, well, we could say strike, but it was 3-2. So count remains 3-2. And that's ball number 4. And he works out a walk, gets herself at first, and brings up Jessie Weil. Jessie walked in the first game. See what Coach Marcus Weil has her do. And he, of course, top speed on the bases. One out. And runner goes, throw down to second base. Not in time. And he steals second base. Strike number 1 on Jessie Weil. And she does a slap bunt. And able to beat the runner at the second base at second. So we're going to say a single puts Annie at third. An error on the pitcher brings Annie home and puts Jessie at second. Oh, Stuttgart takes the lead 4-3 on the bunt single and the error. And coming into the batter's box, Hope Cornell doubled in her first at bat with an RBI and a run scored. And she takes pitch number 1 for ball number 1. That pitch low and inside, ball number 2. And Hope tries to bunt. Of course, as a power hitter, nobody expecting that. Maybe she was trying to bunt herself on. She has a little giggle herself. And ball foul out of play. 2-2 the count. That ball grounded. Nice pickup by the first base lady. Jessie, while able to get to third base on the out, ground out by Hope. Gets herself not very far away. And Makea Kalua singled in the first inning and able to come around and score up to bat. Again, batting left-handed. And she takes pitch number 1 for ball number 1. slaps that ball. Third baseman able to pick it up and throw it in time. Stuttgart gets one run on one hit, one error, one left on. We're done with two, 4-3 for Stuttgart. The Brush sisters, Fiona and Franca leading off the inning, followed by Nadja Honstetter. Stuttgart with one run in the bottom of the second inning takes the lead 4-3. Yeah, ball chopped. No problem, Annie. Step and throw in time. Annie, the Energizer Bunny at shortstop, making a nice play for one pitch, one out. And Franca Brush, the next batter. That pitch in the dirt, off the shin guards of the umpire. That's why, of course, the umpire, as well as the catcher, wears them protection. Because even though it's called softball, it's not soft. One ball, no strikes. That ball hit foul. Matrix move by the third base coach. Shout out to you, Faith, Love, Grind. Go, Lady Reds. I agree. 1-1 to count. That pitch just a bit high. Ball number two. That pitch away. Ball two. Ball three. Three balls, one strike. Yeah, that's too far outside. A walk. Runner at first. Nadja Hunstetter flew out to Jesse Vile, who made a nice shoestring catch in the first inning. One out, runner at first. Pitch just a bit high. And ball blooped into center field. Nice attempt at a catch. And a throw too high. And on the air from the right fielder. The runner's able to advance to second and third. Of course, Franke Busch all the way to third on the hit. And on the throw, not Eleanor Meyer able to advance to second, so we got runners at second and third. We only have one out, and Sophia Thurmer, who singled with an RBI, then was caught stealing in the first inning to end the first inning, is in the batter's box. And she bunts, and that bunt goes foul. Strike number one. And umpire behind the plate, Lars Derling, says yes, she went. So strike number two. No balls, two strikes, one out. Freising trying to tie the score or get the lead. Runners at second and third with one out. And that off-speed pitch stays up. 1-2 the count. And that line, nice catch by the third baseman, Makea Kalau. And he not close enough to get the double play. Runners have to stay put. And a temporary runner for the catcher comes in, number 14, goes to third base. Number 14, of course, the girl who just lined out. It's another one of those rules, temporary runners, so catchers can get dressed, so pitchers can get a break. A little bit of the speed up rules in softball. And because of the speed up rules, Marcus Weil decides to call time to make the speed up rules go away. And after a little bit of discussion, Regina Guth steps in the batter's box. We have two outs, runners at second and third. Regina double, was stranded at third in the second inning. And that ball grounded to the third baseman, who throws it home and throws it high. Allows a run to score. Must have forgot that there was two outs. Oh, that run scores. On the high throw, Laura Kruger comes to bat. Struck out in her first at bat. I'm sure Coach Weil has already told Makea there's two outs. Don't need to throw home. Score now 4-4. And a pop up in the infield. And basket catch by the shortstop, Annie Stepniak, ends the inning. One run on one hit. No errors, two left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the fourth inning. We're in the bottom of the third inning, 4-4 the score. Batting for the Stuttgart Reds will be Kirsten Schmidt, Aaliyah Petzold, Julie Breuninger. Back and forth game. That pitch on the inside corner for strike number one. 3 runs for both teams in the first inning. 1 run for Stuttgart in the second. 1 run for Freising in the third. We're in the bottom of the third. And that pitch misses away. Ball one. And ball fouled back out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. And the cue ball shot goes to the first base dugout. Strike. Count stays the same. No 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball smoked down the third base, but foul. Long strike. Count stays 1-2. So after the catcher runs to the pitcher, says, "Don't throw that pitch again." Umpire gets himself a couple balls. First base umpire says, "Close the gate." First base coach gives the umpire a ball. Lots of action with no action. Count 1-2 to Kirsten Schmidt. Kirsten doubled her first at bat, 2 RBIs. See if she can help herself as a pitcher with being a hitter. That's into right field, in front of the right fielder. 2 for 2 today. Aaliyah Petzold steps into the batter's box. Aaliyah grounded out to the third baseman in the first inning. That pitch on the inside corner, strike number one. Marcus Wild giving signs. He's got a bunt play on, a hit and run, a stolen base. And there's a bunt down the third base line. Nice bunt. And throw to first, unable to bring it down. An infield single for Aaliyah Petzold. Kirsten Schmidt gets first to third. And as I look down, Kirsten Schmidt goes from first to third and then to home because the Grizzlies not paying attention. A 1 run scored, runner at first. In the batter's box, Julie Breuninger walked in her first at bat. And she takes pitch number one for strike number one. Pitch in there, strike number two. 2 looking strikes for Aaliyah. Excuse me, for Julie. just missed on the outside for ball one. Everybody in black said it was a strike. Everybody in red said it was a ball. It matters the guy that's in the blue. He's the one who decides. One ball, two strikes. Air ball foul out of play. That's a fly ball in the gap between center and right field all the way to the fence. And all the way around to score on the triple from Julie Bräuniger, Aliyah Petzold all the way around to score. Brings up Isabel Schmidt, struck out in the first at bat. And a little bit of powwow between the pitcher, the catcher, and the infield. Isabel Schmidt struck out the first at bat. She's got somebody at third base, no outs. Stuttgart able to get the one run plus back from the top of the third inning. That ball in the dirt gets past the catcher, and Jules Bräuniger able to come across the plate on the wild pitch. Third run across the board for the Stuttgart Reds in the inning. Still have no outs. One ball, no strike to count. And check down to the first plate. First base umpire. Did she go? No, says Thomas Hala. And that ball grounded to the second base lady, who throws to first base for the out, first out of the inning. One out. Next batter, Terry Pfister. Strikeout looking in the top of the bottom of the second inning. And she takes that pitch just a little bit high. Ball number one. Swing and a miss. 1-1 to count. Swing and a miss. Strike number two. Of course, advice from third base umpire or third base coach Marcus Weil. Ball anschauen, weghauen. Watch the ball, hit the ball. Great advice. 0-2 the count. And that's what happens if you swing the bat. Much rather ground out than strike out. Out number two, 4-3 in the scorebook. And up to bat, Energizer Bunny Annie Stepniak. Line drive to the shortstop. Walk and a run scored. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Strike number one. Ball grounded right to the third base lady. Steps and throws in time for the third out. Stuttgart able to get the 1 run plus two. 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors, nobody left on. 7-4 the score after 3 complete innings. Top of the fourth, top of the lineup for the Freising Grizzlies. Mara Sandner, Teresa Vanna, Liboa Biswas. 7-4 the score in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Mara, 2 singles so far for the game. And she takes pitch number 1 for strike number 1. That ball just a little bit too low. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. And ball line foul down the first base line. Just out of the reach of Hope Cornell. Long strike number 2. And a ground ball fielded. Nice throw by Makea Kalau for out number 1. 5-3 in the scorebooks. Teresa Vanna, the next batter. Teresa, a walk and a strikeout. That ball fouled out of play. No chance for Hope Cornell to climb the fence, reach out, and catch the ball. No balls, one strike. That pitch high for ball number 2. For those of you who are interested, on the 21st of June, 1-1 to count on the 21st of June at 6 o'clock makeup game, Stuttgart versus Tübingen. The next home games after that on the 15th of July, Stuttgart against Mannheim, swing and a miss, strike number 2. And after that, that's the last home games before the playoffs start. The way the Stuttgart team is playing, they will make the playoffs, of course, leading the Bundesliga South by quite a long distance, at least from third place, and that inside for ball number 2. Just barely missed, like I like to say, by a Muka Sekale. If you're interested in baseball, Friday night in 2 weeks, Stuttgart versus Regensburg. And ball fouled out of play, heads up. Count stays 2-2. Swing and a miss. Oh, yeah. Strikeout for out number two. Two outs. Lioba Biswas, next batter. Leo singled an RBI in inning number one, grounded to third base lady in inning number two. And that pitch just a bit high, ball one. Swing and a miss, 1-1 to count. Just a bit outside. Count goes 2 balls, 1 strike. And a line drive up the middle past the diving Annie Stepniak. Base hit for Liboa Biswas. And next batter, Fiona Brush. Flew out to the shortstop, grounded out to the shortstop. So my advice to her would be hit it somewhere else. 2 down. That pitch a little low, ball one. And a ground ball caught by the third base lady. Nice and easy throw to first. No runs on, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. Bottom of the fourth inning coming up. Bottom of inning number 4. Score is 7-4 in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Batting for the Reds will be Jesse Vile, Hope Cornell, McKay Kalau. Jesse walked and scored and singled in her 2 plate appearances. That pitch on the top of the strike zone, strike number 1. just a little bit outside. 1-1 to count. That inside out swing foul over the first base dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That pitch just a bit high. Jesse not chasing the high fastball. 2-2. That ball line, but foul. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a fly ball, bloop single into right center field for Jessica Vile. She's on base for the third time in this game. And that brings up Hope Cornell. Doubled in the first at bat and had an RBI and scored. Grounded to the first base lady in the second at bat. That ball too low. Ball number 1. And that ball golfed into right field, but right at the, into left field, right at the left fielder. Regina Guth pulls it out of the air for out number 1. Makea Kalau steps into the batter's box. The single and a ground out so far for her. And that ball low, ball 1. And that ball fouled to third baseline, over the fence, into the thousands and thousands in attendance. Nothing but a long strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on. And in the dirt. Blocked by the catcher. Throw down to second base, but not in time. Jessie Wild shows her speed on the wild pitch. Makes it to second base. Gets herself into scoring position. 2-1 to count. And another foul ball into the third base side stands. 2-2. And McKay decides she's going to go to the right side of the base of the plate. A switch hitter, of course. And I guess the ball not round enough for the pitcher. Wants a new ball, gets a new ball, 2-2 the count. McKay decides to bat from the right side, the right-handed batter's box. And she golfs one down the first base line and runs it out safe on the infield single. And Jesse Weiler answers to third base on that. Brings up Kirsten Smith, single and a double. 2 RBIs and a run scored. Helping herself at the bat. Yeah, pitch in the dirt. Michaela runs to Micaiah runs and steals second. Gets herself into scoring position. Ball one. Runners at first, second and third, one out. Stuttgart looking to add on to the 7-4 score. And that ball grounded past the third baseman. And a 2-run double, a single for Kirsten Smith. Runs number 8 and 9 for the Stuttgart Reds. And Aaliyah Petzold steps into the batter's box. Aaliyah 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. New score, of course, 9-4 in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Pitch low and inside, ball one. And a ground ball past the third base lady. A single for Aaliyah. Runners now at first and second. Still only one out. And next batter, Julie Bruniger. A walk and a triple with an RBI. And that brings the coach from Freising out of the dugout. Looks like she's changing pitchers. As soon as I find out who the next pitcher is, we'll let you know. New pitcher is the old pitcher. Pitch out of the first game, Fiona Brush. She comes in with runners at first and second. One out and throws promptly the first pitch for a strike. First pitcher for Freising gives up 9 runs, 8 of them earned. That pitch in the dirt, and both runners able to advance on the wild pitch. Oh, runners now at second and third. 1-1 count. And a bunt. And they get runner at third. Caught getting too far off the bag. So on the fielder's choice, Julie Breuninger safe at second, or safe at first. Malia Petzold has to stay at second. U1 is the score sheet. 2 outs. Next batter, Isabel Schmidt. And a running change. Looks like Malia Petzold hobbling a little bit. Oh, again, runners allowed. Isabel Schmidt, the batter, strikeout and a ground out. Swing, and the ball gets past the catcher. Swing and a miss. On the drop from the catcher, both runners able to advance. Runners now at second and third. And looks like the catcher caught that one on the thumb, so another example of why we don't call it a soft sport. These girls are athletes and tough. And ball blooped to the first base lady for out number 3. Stuttgart, 2 more runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on. Top of the 5th inning coming up. We're in the 5th inning. 9-4 the score in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Leading off, Franka Brush, Nadja Hunstetter, Sophia Thurmer. Franka, 2 walks so far, and she takes pitch number 1 for strike number 1. Walked twice, was able to score once. And that ball hit high in the air. No problem for Yuli Bruniger. Out number one. And the next batter, the designated player, Nadja Honstetter. Fly out to right field. Base hit. That ball inside, but swung anyway. Strike number one. Again, next home games for the Stuttgart Reds softball ladies. The 21st of June at 6 o'clock in the evening, a makeup game against the Tübingen Hawks. That ball hit right up the middle. Looked like a changeup that hung. Base hit for Nadja. Runner at first, Sophia Thurmer, the batter. Singleton was caught stealing in the first, flew out to third in the third. Again, 21st of June at 6 o'clock, Stuttgart against Tübingen. It is a makeup game. That ball fouled out of play. And then 15 July, Stuttgart versus Mannheim. Stuttgart in first place, Mannheim 2 games behind in second place. So that should be some really good games there. So if you can't make it on the 21st, make sure you're out here on the 15th. And that ball attempted to bunt, goes foul. Strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. And a pop up called for, caught by Jessica Weil, out number 2. So after a shaky first inning, pitcher Kirsten Schmidt, able to settle down, has only given up 1 run since the first inning. She has 2 outs and is facing Regina Guth. Regina, a double. And that ball over the right fielder's head for another stand-up double. And run number 5 comes across the board. So just as I say something, I must have jinxed it. On the double, Nadja Honstetter able to come all the way around from first base to score. Regina Guth stops at second base, 2 outs. Laura Kruger, the next batter, strikeout and a fly out. And she bloops that one right back to the pitcher, who picks it out of the air for out number 3. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom of the fifth inning, leading off Terry Pfister, Danny Stepniak, Jesse Vile. 9-5, the score in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Terry strikeout, ground out. Swing and a miss, strike number one. And a bunt. And good play by the first base lady, or the pitcher, to get the first out. 1-3 in the score sheet. Brings up leadoff lady, Annie Stepniak. 2 for 3 in the first game, 0 for 2 in this game. Lined out to the shortstop, walked, grounded out to the third base lady. That pitch almost catches her. And all she does is giggle about it. That's where you always hear, take it for the team, and then when you take it, don't rub it. And that ball shot down the first base line, but foul. Looked like the pitcher had a little bit of a stumble. And they're having a little bit of a giggle about it too. So lots of giggling, lots of chatting. One ball, one strike, one out. And a ground ball this time. Second base lady picks it up, throws out for a quick 2 outs. Brings up Jesse Vile. 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. That pitch low for ball one. That catches the inside corner, 1-1 the count. Outside, ball two. That pitch too far inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Jesse thinks ball 4. Umpire behind the plate, Lars Dooling thinks strike 2. So we now have a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that one definitely too high for ball number 4. That brings up Hope Cornell. Hope doubled in the first inning, ground out and fly out so far. Of course, you know when Hope comes up to bat, don't park in left field. That's the Hope zone. Let's see if she can put one more in there. That pitch too low. Jesse running to second base and able to make a head first slide into second for the stolen base. Too high, ball number two. And there's a base hit into right field all the way to the fence. Jesse around from second, scores easily, and the throw down to third hits Hope. So she helps herself to a triple. And Jesse Vile able to come all the way around to score. New score Stuttgart 10, Freiburg 5. Makea Kalua, the next batter. She's 2 for 3, 2 runs scored. She's got what we like to call a duck on the pond with Hope Cornell at third. And that pitch misses low inside, ball one. That pitch on the inside corner, 1-1 to count. Outside, ball two. That ball hit high in the air, but twisting foul. Heads up, people. Poor tree got some of that. We have triple deuces. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And there's a high fly ball into right field. But the right fielder able to pull it out of the air. F9 in the scorebooks for out number 3. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. 1 left on. Top of the 6th inning coming up. Top of the sixth inning, top of the lineup for the Freising Grizzlies. Mara Snyder, Teresa Vana, Lioba Biswas. That pitch in there. Strike number one. Tamara 2 for 3, or Mara is 2 for 3 with two singles. And a ground out. We are in the sixth of 7 innings. Softball again only goes 7 innings. And that ball right to Annie Stemniak, out number one. Oh, quick two-pitch out. Brings up Vanessa or Teresa Vana. A walk and two strikeouts for her in this game. A little bit low for ball one. I always love the advice from the coaches. Third base coach Freising, make sure it's a good pitch. And that wasn't a good pitch. It was outside, so saith the home plate umpire Lars Durling. 2 balls, no strikes. And that one too high, ball number 3. And a 4-pitch walk. Gets Teresa Vana on first base, brings up Lioba Biswas. Two singles and a ground out. And ball hit high in the air and caught by the right fielder, out number 2. Fiona Brush, the next batter. Fly out, ground out, ground out. 2 outs. Runner still at first base. That pitch on the inside corner, strike number 1. And that one up the middle for a base hit. Julie Bruniger gets the ball back in quick to hold it to a single. Runners at first and second, still 2 outs. Franca Brush up to bat, 2 walks and a fly out for her. And a temporary runner for the pitcher. Again, in softball, you can put in temporary runner for the pitcher and for the catcher. This basically means that person is running, and normally it's the last out in the inning. So Lioba Biswas able to go to first base. That pitch a little high, so the pitcher can sit down, relax a little bit, or the catcher can sit down, get ready to get their equipment on. It's one of those special rules in softball. That pitch inside, 2-0 the count. a blooper. Picked up, thrown out by Mikhail Kalau. No runs on no hits, or on one hit, no errors. Two left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the sixth inning. Leading off the bottom of the sixth inning, Kirsten Schmidt, Aaliyah Petzold, Julie Bräuniger. 10-5 the score in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. 2 runs for Stuttgart means ball game. Of course, the mercy rule is a little bit different in softball. That pitch in there for strike number one. Kirsten successful in this game. 2 singles and a double with 4 RBIs. That pitch too high. Ball one, 1-1 the count. Just a little bit inside. Ball one, ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike. And foul ball out of play. Ow. Almost hit me. And a ground ball. Bobbled by the shortstop. Throw still in time. 6-3. Out number one. And it looks like we have a pinch hitter coming in for Stuttgart. Karina Appa in for Aaliyah Petzold. We'll see if Karina stays in the game or is just a pinch hitter. And Aaliyah Petzold comes back in to catch. Or if the whole defensive infield and outfield from Stuttgart changes. Swing and a miss, strike number one. Karina 0 for 3 in the first game. And she takes that pitch low, 1-1 to count. pitcher. Oh, able to pluck it out of the air. Nice play. Out number two. Now batting Jules Bruniger. And that ball hit high in the air. No problem, it seems like, and it is no problem. Three up, three down for Stuttgart in the bottom of the sixth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Seventh and final inning coming up. Was meinst du no? 7th inning. Last chance for Freising. They need 5 runs to tie the ball game, starting with Nadja Hunstetter, Sophia Thurmer, Regina Guth. Still in pitching for the Stuttgart Reds, Karsten Schmidt. Nadja Hunstetter, 2 for 3. She takes pitch number one for ball number one. One more time. Next home game for the Stuttgart Reds ladies will be on the 21st of June. That's during the week. It's a 6 o'clock game. It's a makeup game against Tübingen. That ball grounded. Nice stop by Mikea Kao. Throws to first. Out number one. And then on the 15th of July, showdown between number one and number two. Stuttgart Reds versus the Mannheim Tornadoes softball ladies. That again on the 15th of July, starting at 1 o'clock. And if you're a baseball fan, that pitch on the inside corner, strike number one. If you're a baseball fan, 30 June, night game, 7 o'clock Friday night, 1 o'clock Saturday. Stuttgart Reds versus the Regensburg Legionnaire. Stuttgart looking for some wins to make the playoffs. And that pitch low and in. Check down to first. Yes, she did swing, says the first base umpire, Thomas Haller. No balls, 2 strikes. And another ground ball, another pickup, and another throw by Mikea Kalau to first base brings up Regina Guth. Most of the offense on her shoulders. 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. Ball number one. the center fielder, Jewel Bronigerland, to end the game. I fought it off as far as I can, but last play of the game, I had to say it. 5 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for the Freising Grizzlies. 10 runs on 12 hits, no errors for the Stuttgart Reds. Stuttgart able to sweep the doubleheader against the Freising Grizzlies. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Again, 21 June and 15 July for softball, 30 June, 1 July for baseball. My name is Ken the Voice Hudson, and I'd like to say thank you for tuning in on behalf of the CEO, the Master of Disaster, and the world's worst superhero, Yara Drobny. Hope you enjoyed it, and tune in the next time. We're out.